some of this on your feet. All greasy. So this is the forest that I'm going to be spending a lot more time in starting later this year or early next year. This is where I'm going to build my outpost camp, which is essentially my hunt camp that's further back away from the cabin that I can access during especially, well, a couple different periods of the year. First of all, around the cabin itself, there's just a limit to how much game I can harvest from the surrounding land around the cabin. Even though it's vast territory that's open and undeveloped to the west of me, I need to get back into there far enough to get into different populations of game. Hey Kelly, you having fun? So this is about almost an hour away from the cabin by snowmobile, which goes back to the question I had earlier about why I should get a snowmobile and or an ATV, but especially a snowmobile to get back further into the country and to harvest get fishing game from a wider area rather than just from the cabin area. So this is the woods that I was talking about, the forest. The thing about these hemlocks is that the snow on the ground underneath them is so much shallower, not as deep as in the hardwoods surrounding the hemlock grove. So when you get these vast groves of hemlock, the deer come into here and spend the winter because, like I said, the snow's not only less deep, but there's also browse in the form of saplings and branches and stuff that fall off the trees that they can still browse because it's not buried under snow. So that's why this area right here is so rich in game. Now, just over a couple of ridges and then down to a valley, there's a massive cedar, I guess a swamp, lowland with a couple of isolated lakes and little streams and stuff. That's where I'm going to be finding the rabbits, the snowshoe hares, and some other game as well. So and fish. There's good population of trout in these little back lakes. So this is one of the exciting things I was talking about that was going to happen in 2019 and into the future, of course, but I think 2020 is when I'll actually build the Outpost camp here, or maybe even this fall. So and the reason for that is that, of course, I've got the things that I need to finish at the homestead, and I need to get that thing 100% comfortable for at least two people. Okay. So once the homestead's done, that means I can start spending time now exploring more around the cabin, getting over to this land that I now have that is more remote, more full of game. So between the two properties and all the public land in between, I have everything I need, I think, to survive now. So I'm going to make lunch now. I'm going to find a nice sheltered spot because it is really windy, as I'm sure you can hear. The wind going through these hemlocks can get pretty loud, so I'll find a little hollow and get in there and get a fire going and cook up some lunch, and I'll talk about the gear that I'm using as well. Ready for some lunch? Tired? hungry? You hungry? Come here. It's a whole lot of crackling from that fire. Hopefully you can hear me. Mike might be picking that up. Wanted to talk quickly about the pot set that I'm using right now. So on my other channel, earlier this morning I filmed a little video about the pack that I brought, the backpack that I've got my day pack that I've got my equipment in for today. And I was talking about purging and why I'm purging. And, I've referenced this a couple of times now in 2 or 3 videos, that big changes this year and all that stuff, you know. I think even earlier in this video maybe. Part of that change is that I need to simplify everything even further, downsize everything, and purge. So I was talking about the packs, about which pack I should keep. I've got a whole bunch of them, different like overnight packs, canoe packs, day packs, hunting packs, and I need to condense that down to just a few, like single purpose sort of, well, multi-purpose, but a few different packs that are completely distinct. I need to have a couple of them, like one of each. That's an awkward way of saying I need to get rid of some stuff. Problem is, I do different types of outdoor activities, so that makes it a bit challenging. It's not like I'm like a bushcrafter, just a bushcrafter that goes out and does, you know, practices fire lighting and like small woodworking and stuff like that. I'm more of a general outdoorsman, so I do a whole bunch of different things: hunting, fishing, of course the cabin building and the shelter building, and this type of trip, canoeing, anything from a stationary camp and homestead to hiking and trekking and canoeing into the backcountry, and sledding now, snowmobiling. I'm so good at segues. The point is that for my backcountry canoe trips in particular, and my backpacking trips, I want really lightweight gear, which is like the contradiction. Alright, so what I was saying is that my backcountry trips, I want to go as light as possible. Bottom line is. So I contacted Chris at Heavy Cover. So I think he's a small company for sure. I think he might be a sole operator. And he sells a number of things on his website, but including these titanium canteen sets, which I really like. I've been seeing everybody else online, and the guys that I hang out with, like Joe, have been using them for probably 2 years now, I think. So I was impressed with them, but I haven't used them myself. So this is not an endorsement for the product necessarily, other than the fact that I've seen other people use them and they're happy with them. This is my first time, so I can't give you an honest review, honest opinion of how they operate. But what I do like is that extremely light. I have used titanium cookware in the past for my canoe trips, and I still have a couple of, or one I guess, titanium pot and a mini pan from Tokes. I'm really happy with it. They are challenging, so this is not something I'd recommend as your primary cooking pot set or canteen set if you are not doing lightweight backcountry stuff. In other words, titanium is fantastic because it's really strong and really light, but it's not necessarily the best for cooking with. Now it does heat up and cool down really quickly, so probably for water it might be preferred, or maybe a little bit better than aluminum or stainless steel for that, because it cools down and you can drink from it quicker and it heats up faster to boil the water. But the problem is with the things like the pan and pots that I have, they heat up so fast that it's hard not to burn your food. So I'm going to show you that in a minute. Hopefully I don't burn the food because I'm hungry. Actually, I like this pan a little bit better than the one I have because it has this little locking mechanism. My pan, every time, you've probably seen them if you've seen my canoe trips. You've probably seen me do this where I'll cook a meal, get it all ready, and then to bring it up to my lap, or I'm eating out of it and I push down and the thing collapses and my food goes all over the place. It's happened to me countless times, embarrassingly. Anyway, that's the challenge with the pan, but the canteen set I really like. Melting snow, I have to explore this land more. This is my first time back here getting a good look at the land. So I need to find out where the streams are. The lake is too frozen. I didn't bring an auger to cut through the ice, or I didn't want to use my hatchet to cut through the ice. So I need to find the streams that are here. And I know there's a couple that show up on Google Earth, on a satellite image. So anyway, when I do that, that's my preferred way to get water in the winter, because I can just dip into the stream. But right now I'm melting snow. So I've got the little set here by the fire, and I'll grab that out of the fire and show it to you. No, before I do that, here's a little spork. So it's a spoon and a fork and bottle opener and a couple of like torque wrenches. Don't know if I would ever use that, but this is really lightweight and it's strong, really strong. So it's a good spoon and a good fork. So I'll use that today. So let me show you the other little pot thing. Okay, so the little pot is, it's the shape of the canteen, so the canteen sits in it, which is nice. So it packs nice and small into your pack. So this snow is really cold and light right now, so that packed down full is down to there, melted. So I need to keep putting snow into it, and I am getting thirsty, so I really usually like putting water in there first and then the snow. Well, a little bit of water in the bottom and then snow, so the snow doesn't burn, and the water helps it melt quicker. Because it does heat up fast, and I'm a little nervous about burning my food. First of all, it'd be better if I could just get hot coals, so I could wait a little while. But I am hungry. I've been here for a while, messing around. This is the leftover beef shank and venison loin that I cooked the other night. And yes, I'm using Tupperware because it lasts forever, and I haven't found a more rustic alternative. I'm going to fill this canteen up for the rest of the trek today, although it's starting to snow really heavy and then it's getting colder too at the same time, so I'm not sure how much I'm going to do today before heading back to the cabin. I have to sled back too, right? Snowmobile back, so don't want to really do that in the dark because I'm not that familiar with this area yet, or even between here and the cabin. If you're interested in this stuff, and you can check out his website obviously, but like I said, I'm not getting paid for this. It's not an endorsement necessarily, and I can't even highly recommend it because I haven't used this product specifically, this brand. But what I'm going to definitely do is give away a set. So Chris ended up sending me an extra box, which includes the canteen, the pot, 2 lids. So there's this metal lid and then a plastic lid as well. Plastic lid I assume is for like packing it up with water and then carrying it. It's probably more watertight than this metal one, I'm assuming. And this spork. So the little pot, the lid, the canteen, and then the 2 lids that come with the canteen. And this canteen is also good for hanging. Like you can put a stick in there on a piece of string, paracord or something, and hang it above the fire. It's got nice wide shoulders for doing that, so that's a possibility. The lid actually has I guess you'd have to be careful, but the lid has a little D-ring on it as well, so you can suspend it by that, although you wouldn't want the liquid to expand with the lid on. And this lid goes on the pot in order obviously to keep debris from falling into it, but also so that it boils a little bit quicker, or cooks quicker, keeps the heat in. So if you're interested in that, I guess I've never done a giveaway, so I have to look up the software for random picking, like a lottery thing. So if you want to be in on this, I guess make sure you're subscribed, that you hit the thumbs up on the video, and that you also just say something like, I guess say heavy cover. Just say the word, comment heavy cover. Even if you have other things to say that as well, or just say heavy cover. If you're interested in this titanium pot set, just write heavy cover as your comment. And if you have any other comment on the video, which I'd love to hear, put that as a second comment. That way I can use that random picker and comment picker, and it'll pick the winner. And I'll do that. It's January 19th today? 18th? Let's say I'll do that the first video in February, so the first week of February sometime. I guess I'll do a standalone video so you don't have to sort through and figure out what other video it's in. So I'll just do a video saying a heavy cover giveaway winner. Alright, so if you're interested, please do that. So subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and comment heavy cover. Bunch of fat and meat scraps from the broth that Mom made. Mom made some beef broth, and that's all the leftover meat and fat. There you go. This is not really no trace. I'm coming back to this site many more times, so I will use this fire pit again and clean these burnt sticks up. Now smoke's in the way. I'm going to film that whole thing again. I think I'm going to end up with a whole blooper reel from this day of video. And the reason I want to talk to you about it is because... Why? You got cookware and, you know, leather. Man, I hate these tripods. I made the mistake of bringing out that Joby Gorilla Pod, you know, the flexible small tripods, only about that high, because I wanted to reduce the weight because I didn't know how far I was going to be going to explore this land back here, and how much off sled stuff I was going to do and on snowshoes. So bad decision. Keeps falling over on me. Not stable enough.